Hello, I'm Brian Heidorn. I'm in charge of this lab, or I would say a set of projects associated with the long-term curation of data here at the School of Information.
I'm Gretchen Stallman. I am a PhD candidate here in the School of Information, and I have worked as a research assistant on this project for several years.
I'm Tom Hicks. I'm a research programmer working for the School of Information and the American Astronomical Society.
This project grows out of some long-term research interests that I have. So it's searching for data in the long tail of science. So for small scientific projects, where does the data go? And I started that initiative when I was working at the National Science Foundation. The particular iteration for this project that led to astronomical data began about 5 years ago with discussions with the American Astronomical Society editors on the future of data associated with their publications. That led to 2 grants from the University of Arizona to run workshops, and then also led to the National Science Foundation grant that we're running right now. Gretchen was involved in running many of those workshops. Partners on this project for the current grant are the American Astronomical Society, and Julie Steffen particularly is the co-PI on the project from the American Astronomical Society. A lot of the software being used in this phase of the project is for the Worldwide Telescope. That was developed with staff at the Microsoft Corporation, and staff from Microsoft are still working on a port to take 3D visualization software that they created for the Worldwide Telescope so that you can see astronomical objects in 3D space, including planets and stars and those sorts of things, to move it to a web environment so it's accessible to more accessible to everyone.
One of the most exciting outcomes of this project so far is that we had an opportunity on several occasions to bring together experts in a variety of disciplines to discuss data management needs in astronomy. So we've held 3 workshops, maybe 4. The first 2 were related to conceptualizing the project. We gathered together astronomers, information scientists, librarians, computer scientists, administrators together to talk about what the needs are of the community and how we could actually tackle the problem of dealing with dark data in astronomy on a large scale. And then we held a 3rd workshop at the Biosphere 2 in March of 2018, where we gathered, again, astronomers and information scientists and other experts together to assess the progress of the project. We also held a workshop at the American Astronomical Society conference about a year ago related to metadata, because through this project we had to set up a customized metadata scheme in Cyverse for astronomical data. So through those workshops and through those meetings and just getting people together to talk, we found a really great opportunity to make some very profound discoveries and insights about data management practices in astronomy and the needs and future goals of the community.
So a lot of the resources that we're developing are on the cloud. So as you may know, a lot of scientists work either on their laptops, their desktop computers to do processing. There are some shortfalls to that. The data and the processing then are on your laptop and prone to be lost. Laptops are also relatively low power, low connectivity versus some other technology that's available now. So Cyverse has created a cloud-based environment with connections to high-performance computing. So by moving the computing off of the laptop and onto the Cyverse environment, we've gained access to that high-performance computing. But more importantly, we've created an environment where multiple astronomers can all access the same data, run the same software on that data, and get the same results because they're working on the same environment. And also through technologies such as Docker, we're able to wrap up versions of the software that are being used and have them preserved in such a way that 5 years from now or 10 years from now, they could still be run. Or all the processing that's done now on this cloud environment could be moved to a different cloud environment and run again. So that improves the usability of the data and replicability of science by moving to the cloud.
One of the most exciting aspects for me about this project is that we get a chance to build infrastructure using various technologies which in the last 5 years have just taken off. And over that period, there's been a major shift in how and where computing is done. And we are actually building tools for astronomers to use on top of those kinds of new paradigms. So we have, at the university, for instance, we have Cyverse this is one of Cyverse's major centers where they do development. Cyverse is a national project funded by the NSF to develop cyber infrastructure, and development for it, most of the development for it is done here at U of A. So we are trying to build tools for astronomers to curate data, visualize data, and maintain it using some of those tools. In addition, other technologies that are just becoming very popular now, such as containers. You might have heard of Docker. We're using that kind of container technology to package code so that it can be run on a variety of different systems by anyone. And that's it's very exciting trying to glue all this together and integrate it.
So my dissertation project, it should be done in May of this year. It will be done in May of this year. It was directly inspired by my work with the Astrolabe project. One of the key tasks identified by astronomers is that we need to find ways to quickly search the literature for references to data, and then we would be able to follow up with authors of high-impact research to get their data and curate it. So in my dissertation, I'm taking a mixed methods approach. I'm developing a set of heuristics for searching the literature for different types of data underlying publications. And in the process of doing this, I've been conducting interviews with astronomers that, in addition to helping me to develop these heuristics, have produced quite a lot of insight over into the broader data management practices of astronomy. I also plan to send a survey to authors of the papers that I'm reviewing for further insight, to ask them more about their data and their data management practices.
The outcomes of this project that we would like to have is at least the beginnings of an easy-to-use data repository that astronomers can use to collaborate with each other and facilitate publication within their field. Also, we're now working on a new proposal to work with biological field stations in a research coordination network to be able to collect and share data that's gathered at biological field stations. And that can range from genomics data to ecological environmental data, hydrology data, many kinds of data products that already exist on Cyverse, but which are not organized in a way specifically to support long-term access and preservation for that particular group of researchers that are working in field-based research. Also, as an outcome of this project, we have the education of students and other spin-off projects. An example of that, of spin-off projects, is Gretchen Stallman's dissertation, which she's finishing up now.